Hello and good evening, and a very warm welcome to a special program called Cricit Predicta on NewsX, powered by 1xBet. In today's IPL 20 match, Chennai Super Kings will clash with Kolkata Knight Riders at Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai. Kolkata remains unbeaten this season. That's interesting. While Chennai has won 2 of the 4 matches, reflecting on yesterday's doubleheader, Mumbai Indians secured their first victory, yes, by defeating Delhi Capitals by 29 runs. That was a close contest, though. Didn't look Delhi to come as close as they did. Mumbai posted 234 for 5 in 20 overs with Romario Shepherd. Again, David Brooks' favourite West Indian player, Caribbean player, Romario Shepherd, explosive hittings, blah, blah, blah. We go on to the next. Now is an important match. Lucknow Super Giants claim their 3rd consecutive win by defeating Gujarat Titans by 33 runs at Ekana Stadium. Lucknow opted to bat first and scored 163 for 5, and Gujarat was all out for 130 runs. Yash Thakur was the player of the match, taking 5 wickets for 30 runs. In today's encounter, Chennai seeks the 3rd win while Kolkata aims to continue their winning streak. Chennai has won 18 of the 29 matches against Kolkata in IPL history, with Kolkata winning 10 matches and most of the matches remaining without results. Few matches. Chennai's highest score against Kolkata is 235, while Kolkata's highest against Chennai is 202 in their recent encounter. Chennai has won 3 out of their last 5 matches. Well, that's quite a handful to talk. Well, I'm joined by 3 of the most enigmatic, charismatic and very eloquent guests from all sides of the Atlantic. Paul Dinette, the Aussies, the ever-smiling Aussie who wants to make his debut in person for the IPL in India. David Brooks, who's not far behind. He wants to see what IPL looks like from India. And someone who's been a part of ECB, the English Cricket Board, in the commercial and at a very senior capacity, joins us, Terry Blake. Welcome, 3 gentlemen on the show. I would go on to Paul Dinette. Paul, what does your prediction say in the last 5 matches? You've got 3 right, I guess.
Yeah, I think that my biggest advantage over the weekend was that I wasn't actually required to make a prediction, so I can claim an honourable draw. But I think it probably didn't take too much to predict Mumbai, unfortunately. Poor old Delhi Capitals.
Yes.
And that last over from Romario Shepherd, we were chatting off air. Hopefully it wasn't on air this time.
No, this time
about how well the West Indians have been playing, and that was an extraordinary final over that he scored 32. If he'd scored, 20 fewer than that on a typical final over, then quite possibly as the second inning was going on, there might have been a chance that Delhi might have actually won because Tristan Stubbs was playing so well, didn't get to face a ball in the final over. It all went downhill for Delhi as a result of that amazing over that poor old Norkia got smashed everywhere.
Well, absolutely. David Brooks, don't you think so? Paul Dinette is the best performing Aussie around the IPL with his performance? Well,
I hope the rest of the Aussies are watching Paul's performance. They could learn a lot. Yeah, no, it's disappointing. Yet again, we saw, we haven't seen Maxwell or Cameron Green do anything yet. Mitchell Stark, the only wickets he's got are other Australians, so it doesn't count. So yeah, it's slow start for the Aussies. And the West Indians, as we were discussing yesterday, free of the pressure of representing their country with all the inter-island rivalries, here in the IPL, adulated, respected, worshipped by the crowd as opposed to criticised by the crowd when they're playing in the home territories. They're all doing so well. Standout players, including one that's playing today, Andre Russell.
Absolutely. Andre Russell, Sunil Narine. Terry Blake, is money making the mayor go? Is that the case of the West Indians who were criticised at home, but for the big monies they are here and they just enthrall? Your views?
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they all continue to do well in this competition, how well they do as a team in their home territory and in the USA. If they're really in form, perhaps they'll buck that trend. But David alluded to the fact that they are free of the pressure of playing at home. They've got some very good backup staff. They've got all the facilities they need. And so they do seem to be performing. I think Andre Russell is, so far, pretty much the player of the tournament so far. And, you know, if you're looking at one great all-round performance, he played against the Sunrisers and got 64 off 25 and took 2 for 25, and he's performing really well. Hard to call today's match because you've got Chennai are unbeaten at home and Kolkata are unbeaten full stop. So it's a tough one to call.
What does your heart say? I'm going to ask the predictor question right away. Straight into the man.
I think I'm going to back Kolkata. I think whether they bat first or bat second, I think they've got a little bit too much for CSK, especially as there are a couple of fitness doubts apparently, or availability doubts with Pathirana and Rahman unsure of whether they're going to make the team for CSK today. So I'll back Kolkata.
Well, Kolkata, of course, Terry Blake, the former ECB commercial director, has a point to make. But very interesting fact here, Paul Dinette. Sunil Narayan has scored 134 runs in 3 innings in IPL. Strike rate is 206, average is 44, 1/2 century. Andre Russell, 105 runs, 2 innings, and he's got a strike rate of 238. Again, when you see those stats, and the third person to follow is Phil Salt at 102 runs in 3 innings. Nothing spectacular other than the strike rate and 1/2 century. Now, when you have a team like this who doesn't have a high-scoring, a century-making player, and you have a combination, you have a cluster of 3 batters who make it to that, do you think that's the kind of winning formula rather than just relying on just one big success? Your views, Paul Dinette.
Well, I certainly think so. The way that they're playing, because they are only coming second by virtue of having played 1 fewer game than Rajasthan, but their net run rate's extraordinary. And I just think Sunil Narayan opening the innings makes so much sense. To your point, he doesn't get massive scores. He's only got a career average of about 15. And I think that's why it's so good that he opens. I'm a huge advocate for pinch hitters, partially because if you get the ones that bat low enough down the order, half the time they don't even get a hit. So you might as well send them up the top and say, swing from the hilt. You either get us off to a fantastic start or you're a free wicket. You get out, you wouldn't have got a bat anyway. And I think it's a crying shame. I said it the other show, when you have a fast finishing player who finishes stranded, not out at the end. Get them up there and give them a go.
Well, absolutely. Very interesting point you said that you've got. Is that what you're referring to, the bits and pieces cricketers who just come good at 30, 40 at a crucial juncture and perhaps roll their arms and get it right? Paul, just for discussion's sake and carrying forward the discussion, your point. Paul Dinette.
I'm always nervous when the bits and pieces cricketer reference from Sanjay Manjrekar to my favourite player from India, of Jadeja. So I'll dodge that one. But I do think that KKR, they've kind of crept up on me. I was just sort of looking at the stats and starting to get more and more blown away by what a fantastic side they are. They're my tip for winning tonight, and probably my tip for the overall tournament. I think at this stage, if I had to pick one side to win it, my money's on KKR. And as I said the other day, that might be the kiss of death for them. They might not win another match now. Absolutely,
kiss of death is the right way to put it together, because they're going into the bastion of the Whistle Podu gang, the Chennai Super Kings. They are the kings at home, and certainly one of the crowd favourites here of the all cricketing nations, because you have a certain gentleman called MS Dhoni who's just walking into the sunset of his career, and we're not sure as yet. But the batting lineup looks very good. Shivam Dube, and this is for David Brooks. David, Shivam Dube has scored 148 runs, 4 innings, 49 average with a strike rate of 160. Ajinkya Rahane, 113, still going strong, above 35, with an average of 29 and a strike rate, 130. Remember the discussion we had on the county, that he should be playing county and he's a great guy for the test? Look at what he's doing in the IPL. The third guy, Rachin Ravindra, nothing great spectacular from him as of now. 4 innings, 97 runs, 24 average and a strike rate of 173. That's impressive. Daryl Mitchell, 93 runs, 4 innings. Now, what do you make of the Chennai Super Kings batting lineup?
Well, if all the names you mentioned fail, then you've got Jadeja and Dhoni coming in at 7 and 8. So it is very strong. We saw what Dhoni can do, even though he doesn't pick up a bat between IPL tournaments. He still seems to be able to produce the goods. Like Paul, Jadeja is one of my favourite players. I hate to go against any team that he's a part of because he's capable of match-winning performances. The one player who hasn't yet hit his straps is Daryl Mitchell, at number 5. So look for more from him.
You want to come back on the name again? You're going to come a certain Aussie?
Actually, from New Zealand this time. I'm going to criticise a Kiwi rather than an Aussie. But yeah, Daryl Mitchell hasn't produced anything yet. But Ravindra is a class player and he's due a big score. On their home ground, as I say, the Shivan Dubey, one of the best performing Indian players of the tournament, looked very good in the last game. So this isn't going to be easy for KKR today. It's got to be a close game. And the home advantage might tell for CSK. I'm on a roll here, Sunil. I'm 4 out of 4 in my last 4 predictions on Cricit Predicta. So I'm looking to make it a fifer.
Wow, that's an interesting thing. Terry, do you have another point of view? Because in Chennai Super Kings, you have Mustafa Rahman. He's 7 wickets. Pathirana at 4 wickets in 2 innings. Deepak Chahar, 4 wickets in 2 innings. Moeen Ali, yes, a certain Englishman, Moeen Ali, has just got 2 wickets in 1 innings. What's wrong with Moeen Ali? Isn't he getting enough confidence of the skipper or he's still under the weather?
Oh, I don't know whether he's under the weather, but he's played a little bit over the years. He doesn't always get regular slots, but he normally chips in with some very useful performances down the order. And he's another guy who could come up the order and open the batting. He's batted almost everywhere for England from number 1 to number 9. He could be your Nareen at the top of the order, or alternatively, he can be your Jadeja a little further down. But he bowled well in his one match, and I suspect he can go on a roll, like Terry, some of the other English players.
Terry, let me ask you a pointed question. At some stage he was considered as the biggest find for England, and somehow he hasn't lived up to the promise and the reputation that he's had. What went wrong with Moeen Ali in T20?
That's a good question. I mean, of course, a wonderful test match player.
Yes.
He was picked as a batsman who could bowl, but became the regular off spinner and got, I think, over 250 wickets, if I'm not mistaken. You'd think in the short form he would do extremely well.
Yes.
And he's a very good one-day player. I suspect he'll play in England's T20 team for the ICC World Cup. So I don't think he's done yet. Perhaps he hasn't had a consistent run or been put in a consistent position in the team. David would also have a view on Moeen Ali. For me, he's been one of the most entertaining and wonderful English cricketers of the last 10 years. But T20 probably his least good suit.
Absolutely. Well, David...
He's been messed around. Yeah, he's been messed around, I think, by England.
Go on, speak up, David. Your views.
I think he's been messed around by England. The fact that, as Terry said, he's batted in just about every position in the batting order, never really had an absolutely clear role. I mean, over the last few years, his priority has been franchise tournaments. And so anything he does for England's been a bonus. He had limited opportunities, hasn't he, this year? Just played his first game in the last match. But yeah, as Terry said, very useful performer, capable of chipping in with wickets and runs. Not a match winner, I wouldn't say anymore, but he can help a winning cause.
Well, he can help a winning cause. Let's look at the bowling for Kolkata Knight Riders. We've discussed Chennai with their deep bowling, with Moeen Ali coming in bowling in till the end. His off spinners, which is all right. But Andre Russell, 5 wickets in 3 innings. Harshit Rana, 5 wickets in 2 innings. Varun Chakravarti, 4 wickets in 3 innings, and Vaibhav Arora, a certain gentleman called Vaibhav Arora, 3 wickets in 1 innings at the IPL. Kolkata Knight Riders, Paul Dinette, what do you think of Kolkata Knight Riders bowling? Do you think it doesn't match up to the explosiveness of the batting, or do you think there are players that you can rely on?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty handy bowling lineup. Maybe doesn't have as you say, the explosiveness of the batting. But I mean, we've already talked about Narayan, the batter, and he's a very fine T20 bowler. I've always admired Chakravarti as well. I don't want to talk too much about the Aussies, but Mitchell Starc, if he starts to click at the top of the order, he's the kind of guy who doesn't put too many bad performances together for too long. This tournament has been pretty brutal on the fast bowlers that you can have. Poor old Jai Richardson, I mean, not to just keep on talking about Aussies, but made his debut last night and hit Rohit Sharma on the arm, and then got hit for 2 sixes in the rest of the over. It's small boundaries, big bats, and audacious talent and power from the batters can make things pretty difficult. So what I like about KKR is that they've got a fair few backup bowling options as well, and some good spin backup bowling. And I think that that's a key. I think sometimes if your quick bowlers are going the journey, it's so important to be able to have some of those spinning backups.
Your Predicta question for the day: Who are you? Finally listening to the conversation, just looking at weighing the pros and cons. Now, who are you backing this time?
I'm backing KKR. I think that it's you never be too confident predicting a team to win away from home, certainly against such a wonderful team as Chennai. But I just think that they cover all bases. And as I said, just purely looking at their performances to date, I'm a big believer in looking at the numbers. And the numbers are quite extraordinary. I've just got it in front of me now that their net run rate for the tournament of 2.5 is more than double the next best. So I'm going KKR.
Oh, you're going KKR with their undefeated long streak that we have. Well, that's all we had time for. We have a good gallery of guests with us who give not only statistics but also an insightful discussion talking about why the team is winning, what is the reason, who's the impact player. That's all you get it on Cricit Predicta. Well, keep watching NewsX. We'll be back after a short commercial break.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.